You're listening to The Right Side of the Rivers, hosted by Todd McCollum and Russell Dreyer. This show tackles public issues from a Pittsburgh point of view, offering common sense conversations, right-of-center perspectives, and a focus on the people, policies, and principles shaping Pittsburgh, Allegheny County, and Pennsylvania.
Hello again, everyone. This is the Right Side of the Rivers podcast. This is the official podcast of the City of Pittsburgh Republican Committee, and I am the chairman and the host, Todd McCollum. Welcome, everybody, and I am joined today, very specially, by a special co-host today. Russell, who usually sits in with me, the vice chair, is on special assignment with the county committee, and we have Eileen with us today. Eileen Cunningham.
Thank you.
Hey. Eileen, you're the secretary of the committee, and you're your own district chairman. And it's like Jeopardy, and when you do so good on Jeopardy, you get to come back and host the show. You were a big star a couple weeks ago, and in Russell's absence, we appreciate you sitting in. So thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. It's an honor to be here. I think it was easier to answer questions than to ask them, so I'll hopefully do Russell well and do a good job for you.
He'll do good. So like I said, Russell on special assignment today with the Republican Committee of Allegheny County. He is a District Coordinator 10, and he is out kicking off the first ever joint Woodland Hills committee. That's a committee of a bunch of smaller boroughs joined together under the Woodland Hills School District. And being a district coordinator yourself that involves boroughs, how important it is to have coverage everywhere in the county. And Russell's out there doing yeoman's work, creating committees where there haven't been in the past.
Right. I'm sure they're going to be excited because when you do a joint committee that he is trying to do, pull in all those really small municipalities together, that you're not so all alone. So, if you can pull two people from the small Turtle Creek and, you get a 5 from, Woodland Hills, Swissville, whatever.
Chalfont Borough.
So,
and Wilkins.
Yeah, so hopefully he has good success tonight, and they see that there's a lot of people interested from across their little boroughs and
right
as well.
Yes, there is strength in numbers, and there are numbers to be had out there. We just have to find one another, and that's part of what this show is about, too.
We're out there looking for you.
Yeah. We have another special guest with us today. County Council candidate Patrick Provins. Yes, Provins. I'm sorry. Patrick, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Right Side of the River.
Thank you for having me.
So, Patrick, tell us, you're obviously involved in a county council race. That's why you're here. Tell us a little bit about
it. The opportunity presented itself, and I was able to step up to run for this position. In doing so, I was excited to do so. And along the way, I learned a lot up to this point. Now it's a moral obligation. I think that I can be the positive change for the Mon Valley, Steel Valley to continue to move it forward. I think there's a lot of potential there.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about yourself here.
I'm a U.S. military veteran. 25
service.
Very welcome. Thank you. 25 plus years as a paramedic. Most of it has been in District 9. Small business owner, and most importantly, a husband and a father.
District 9, and you mentioned the Mon Valley. Why don't you tell us a little bit more specifically what all District 9 involves?
District 9 is primarily the Mon Valley with a slice of the Steel Valley. It goes from Munhall all the way down along the Monongahela River until it joins into the Allegheny to the county line. There's, I believe, 10 municipalities involved in that. It's a very diverse area. Fortunately, District 9 is unique that of the 4 cities that are in Allegheny County, 2 of those third-class cities are located in District 9.
And you're talking about McKeesport and
McKeesport,
Clairton.
not McKeesport and Duquesne.
McKeesport and Duquesne. I'm sorry, I thought
Yes, sir.
Clairton was involved in that. I apologize.
You go all the way up to Elizabeth, correct?
Correct. Goes all the way down. Starts in Munhall, Whitaker, West Mifflin, Duquesne,
Lincoln, Liberty.
McKeesport, Javosburg, White Oak, Versailles, South Versailles, all of Elizabeth Forward, which is Elizabeth Borough, Elizabeth Township, and Forward Township, and all of South Allegheny, which is Portview, Liberty, Lincoln, and Glassport. And then also, and it's left off different places, is West Elizabeth, which is out of District 6.
Mhm.
Well, that's the regional committee for them, is over that way, but they're in District 9, West Elizabeth Borough as well.
So you mentioned some of the smaller boroughs there. I believe that's the South Allegheny School District, and they recently have developed their own little committee there as well.
Yes. Yes.
They're one of our brand new ones.
Yeah. There was, when they did the consolidation or the resources and put the committees together, it actually had a profound effect. A lot of people, like Eileen said, a lot of people are coming out because they don't feel isolated. Strength in numbers. South Allegheny Regional, great group of people. Every meeting that they have, I've been able to attend, and it's a very diverse group of individuals. Very enthusiastic.
So tell us a little bit more about why you're running.
I think there's a lot of resources in Allegheny County. And with some of the changes, I think there's the potential risk of losing some of those resources. Everything from the parks to the airport, to the college, the 2 levels of law enforcement. Majority of my background's in public safety. Been in public safety for over 30 years. And there's still a lot of resources in the workforce as well coming out of the Mon Valley, but it doesn't seem as if the Mon Valley and the Steel Valley are getting anything in return. It's kind of almost been like a stagnation. And I think that there's a lot of potential there. And I just think that the last several years, not there hasn't been effort. It just doesn't seem like that there's any growth development. We've lost, like in the Elizabeth Forward regional area, in Elizabeth Township, we've lost 25% of our population in the last 25 years. The jobs, the housing, there's so much potential, and it doesn't seem like the representation is in that district as far as in that area.
How much of that population loss do you think just crossed over the borough into, or I'm sorry, the county line into Ross Draver there, because Ross Draver seems to be building up exponentially?
I think a significant portion has gone to Westmoreland over to North Huntington, as well as Ross Draver.
Okay, how? Tell us about your campaign. How's it going?
It's going well. It's a big learning curve. I've learned a lot, but more importantly, I've met a lot of people, most of which, most of which I've agreed. But I mean, even those that I've disagreed, like I've gotten their viewpoints. It's been phenomenal. I mean, I thought I met a lot of people in public safety, but unfortunately, in most of those circumstances, it's under dire consequences or whatnot. But it's just phenomenal how many people I've met. And just in the Mon Valley, it's kind of different from the rest of the county. Every area is unique, but the Mon Valley is still kind of that blue collar. The people keep to themselves, so to get them to come out of their shell, it's been interesting. It's been great. I love meeting new people and love getting different input.
I heard you say that about the many different municipalities, and I've been around to a lot of them, and they are so kind of unique. They've all, like the city of Pittsburgh, made their own little unique ways of life. Have you had to adjust, or how do you, how are the people receiving you? Is the message they're wanting to hear the same, or do you feel that they all have different things that they're all looking for? I know Munhall, they see things a lot differently than obviously Duquesne does. So how hard is that to adapt?
Your comparison with the city of Pittsburgh and Mon Valley is very similar, because it's a bunch of neighborhoods, just like a bunch of municipalities where I'm at. So there's a lot of differences. Fortunately, in public safety and being a paramedic, I've worked this area for over 25 years. So I know a lot of the people. I know a lot of the sentiment in having grown up in the area, aside from my military time, a majority of my life has been in the area. So I know a lot of the people, a lot of the communities, and I've worked in a lot of the communities.
So you have good name recognition in your area, which is one thing that we usually suffer on the Republican side is name recognition. So that's got to be a big plus for you.
I believe so. I was shocked. I thought I would do well on my initial campaign, which was a write-in campaign, but it exceeded my expectations. So I feel pretty confident. I feel good. I want to be part of the solution.
Good.
So let's go back to for a second, since you brought up the write-in campaign. Am I correct that you're not running against an incumbent? You're the person who's holding that county council seat is resigning or retiring. I'm sorry.
Correct. In January, the incumbent that's presently on council, when his term's up after 20 years of service to the residents of District 9, is retiring. So it's 2 new individuals, myself being one of them, vying for that position, that opportunity to represent the constituents.
Do you think that some of the population loss and the loss of economic development, do you think it's because of some staleness in the area?
I definitely think there's stagnation. There's a lot of potential. I don't want to say mismanagement, but I think there's other avenues that can be explored that would bring back the livability and the vibrance of the region, because there's still a lot of potential there.
Now, you said that Clairton was not part of your district, but it was obviously it's right across the river. The effect of keeping U.S. Steel in Clairton, how did that resonate in your area?
I went and tried to explore a lot of that, seeing how I don't work in the mill. So I reached out to a lot of people, and I did work the city of Clairton, ironically, for 18 years as a medic there as well. So I'm very well versed with the mill, but not as an employee. I think in talking to individuals on both sides that were pro and for, both sides told me if there was not a financial influx within the next 10 years, U.S. Steel would not be competitive. It would not. So we would see another great loss economically in the region.
Do you feel that the U.S. Steel, event will encourage more people now to have hope and come out to vote for candidates? Because I feel that in the past, people are like, it didn't matter. Nobody's really representing me, helping make this better. And now all of a sudden, the steel mills are going to come back and keep everybody employed. Do you think that gives people a little more incentive and encouragement to come out?
I would hope so. And I think that one of the things that, with regards to the stagnation, is some of the bureaucracy regarding permits and whatnot. We've kind of gone from off-center common sense to, and I mean, I'm an avid outdoorsman. I love it. I'll do everything. I will not sacrifice jobs or the economy over someone's health. But I mean, the potential's there to do it responsibly, and I think that's being held up. So I don't know if I answered your question, but I think it's very imperative for District 9 for that bill to
I
go
think
through.
they have hope, and hopefully that translates into votes. So
Hopefully so. Same with the Southern Beltway.
Mhm.
As far as it's finally moving forward as well. State Route 43, the Beltway we never had.
I can remember when that road was started. I was in college in Waynesburg, and it was a great road. Of course, I could do it for a couple quarters back then. Now not so much. It takes a lot more quarters. Getting back to your campaign and how it's going, you had an event the other week in Buena Vista.
Yes, sir.
I was there with you, and I thought it was great.
I thought it went very well too.
And
I'm very appreciative of all the support.
You had some impressive people show up on your behalf too. Why don't you tell us about that?
I did. I was very fortunate enough as far as guest speakers. State Representative Andrew Kuzma from District 39 was a guest speaker, and former House of Representatives Speaker Dr. Rick Cohn was also a guest speaker. So I felt very good that I had the support of those 2 individuals, not to mention the people that did attend. And that actually, the effects of that, it opened a lot of doors even in my own community, because I'm kind of a closed person. So the political thing, it's new to me as far as getting out there. I mean, a lot of people know me, but now I have a lot more people in my area that are reaching out saying, what can I do to help? So
that's awesome. I know I was out there with you. Len Iorio was out there. Last week's guest, Brian Wisemantle, or last show's guest, Brian Wisemantle, was out there. I thought that you were able to pull a great number of people out there, good people. Actually, some people that showed up there that I didn't recognize that come up and talk to me I hadn't seen in years. Because I have a little bit of Mon Valley roots myself, so it was great to see that, and I'm glad the turnout worked out
I
good
will
for
always
you.
take quality over quantity.
And yeah.
Do you have more events coming up? Is there anything that you need to announce here, or what's your plan? We're getting close to the end.
I know the sprint is full sprint. I'm looking at potentially trying to have another event. I do know that I have an action day coming up in October. It'll be in my area, which is almost the complete southern tip, but we're going to start there and then branch out during that day to reach do some of the door knocking.
Make sure you let us know what your day of action is, and we can get it out on social media.
It's going to be October 25th.
October 25th.
Sorry, it's a Saturday.
Okay.
Yes, trying to plug in more days, but
Okay, 5-star producer Missy will have that in the comments below here, and tell us about your social media and your outreach stuff.
The social media, and I have to use my cheat sheet because I'm not a techie guy. A lot of support, a lot of assistance from a lot of people with regards to this. I am on Facebook, Patrick D. Provins for Allegheny County Council, District 9. Instagram is Provins_District 9. And my email is provinsdistrict9@gmail.com.
Okay. And all those things will be linked in below by 5-star producer Missy, and we'll get that out for you. And we are glad you were on the show with us today. Here, we're going to have a lot of good conversation today.
Yeah, the Mon Valley is such a, like you said, a place so full of potential, and I'm happy that they have a familiar voice over there, trying to educate them and win their vote.
It's ironically very fertile from the days of industrialization. There's so much potential in my district. It's an exciting time.
Good.
I understand, and I understand that there are some whispers that people want you to trim your beard. Is that true?
I have heard this, and I have cut 4 inches off of it so far.
Well,
I noticed it right away.
I have cut 4 inches off.
Allow me to say this. If you cut any more off, you will lose my endorsement, because that beard needs to be on county council for sure.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
No, you keep that beard. And public safety, again, your wheelhouse.
Yes, sir.
And you and I have crossed a lot of paths, not our direct paths, but we have a lot of mutual friends here.
Good.
So.
Oh, okay. Good job. I have the pleasure. We have a surprise second guest. Our second guest is also a candidate for county council, and it's county council number 13, which is a lot of the city, and it is our own beloved Todd. And so,
well, thank you. It hasn't been a secret on this show. We've tried to keep it in check, so it's not a big conflict. But yes, I am the candidate for Allegheny County Council District 13.
Right, and that includes a big portion of the city. So why don't you go over those little places?
It is a big portion of the city. The easy way to start this is to say that it involves everything in the city north side. So any portion of the city from Troy Hill to Brighton Heights to Allegheny Commons, Deutschtown, all of that is involved. It also involves the borough of Bellevue. That is the only non-city part of that district, is the borough of Bellevue. And then it goes crazy after that. Once you start crossing the rivers, it's not the right side of the rivers, all told. If you would start at the zoo and work your way down the Allegheny River, it's pretty much everything below Bigelow Boulevard and between Bigelow Boulevard and the Allegheny River. It runs into town. It turns at the point and goes up the Monongahela River, up into the bluff and where Mercy Hospital is, and so it becomes then Fifth Avenue to the Monongahela River. It crosses the Monongahela River because it's
This
not. It
is a
can't be
nightmare
done there. It
traffic jam.
can't be done there. It's 13 for a reason, just so you know that. It's what everybody else didn't want. But it crosses the Monongahela River. It involves the South Side Flats and the South Side Slopes between the Smithfield Street Bridge and 21st Street. It runs right up the hill, and once it gets on top of the hill, it involves all of Allentown, all of Beltsuver, all of Bon Air, and Knoxville.
Well, that is a very big area.
It's
That is
quite a
lot of tra-
diverse, quite a diverse.
They're like going into different
Yes,
countries.
yes.
You have to cross many rivers back and forth
Yes,
to get to them.
a lot of crossing of the rivers, a lot of crossing of bridges. Look, I love Pittsburgh as much as everybody else, and I'm happy to be the first Republican, by the way, to ever run for this seat, to
Woo-hoo.
challenge for this seat. You're familiar with that dynamic as you ran a couple years ago for your county council district, and that had never been challenged.
Right.
So we are setting new bars here left and right. But I'm very happy to be the candidate for 13. That's a very large area and a lot of people, and I'd be happy to represent all of those people.
So how did you get into this race? What prompted you into it? Knowing, because you're from over in the north side area, and knowing the terrain, because I know that you helped me with my campaign and how we trudged through south side and up and down hills and across valleys and rivers. So you knew it was going to be very difficult.
Right, and it's not the first time. When you did your write-in campaign, I was in the midst of a write-in campaign myself, and it came up a little bit short. So I had, for a while now, had an interest in being in that seat and holding that seat for the people of Pittsburgh and for change in Pittsburgh. And that's how being the chairman of the committee, it was just seemed to be a natural fit for me.
Yeah.
The district involves a lot of public safety, of course, being downtown and dealing with the homelessness there. And while it's been cleaned up, at one point it was the North Side Trail had a lot of homeless encampments set up there. Public safety, being a retired police officer, public safety means everything to me, and that's one of the main reasons why I'm involved. And I want the city to thrive. I want the county to thrive. I want this region to thrive. And I don't want prosperity to be a bad word in Allegheny County, and particularly in Pittsburgh. And sometimes I feel that the whole Pittsburgh region and Pittsburgh in particular is set up. Right now, the economic plan for the Pittsburgh is the NFL draft and the Furries convention
Yes.
every year. It needs to be more than that.
Yeah, and we need better issues, better topics to be discussed than even brought up than what's being brought up now. But the one thing that you said that was, caught my ear is, I think your district is considered the city. Like I'm in Lincoln Place, and I'm so far out of the city. I'm closer to the Mon Valley, and that's how the city kind of thinks of us and our services anyway. But you are kind of the heart of the city, with all of the goings on that the city, it would affect everything that you do. And being that the city is in such desperate need of law enforcement and law and order and control, and that's your big issue. That's your wheelhouse. That's your favorite thing to bestow upon the people. How do you see that working out? We go out door knocking, and how you have so many different municipalities in there. I mean, so many different neighborhoods. How are they receiving the messages that you're trying to get?
The messages of public safety in that district, it varies depending on where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Carson Street. How many times have we seen Carson Street or even talked about Carson Street on this program? That's the heart of the problem, runs right through District 13, that part of Carson Street that we see on the news all the time. I want to be an advocate for my former friends and colleagues in the City of Pittsburgh Police Department. I also want to be an advocate for my friends in the EMS and the fire service. I want to be an advocate for the corrections officers who always get dumped on it by certain people in county government, and we know who we're talking about
Right.
there. We want to make sure that the 911 center is staffed, that the jail is staffed. Schumann Center is up and fully functional, more than just 12 beds. The 12 beds at Schumann Center is what that could be just city kids, unfortunately, alone. And again, I don't want to be clear about this. I don't want the jail overflowing. I don't want Schumann Center packed to the gills. I don't want that. I want that those things available. So Schumann Center generally resonates in the South Side. Carson Street, that resonates, and you've been with me, helping me on that too. And sometimes at Carson Street, it depends on who you talk to.
Right.
Sometimes
Absolutely.
it's just a couple drunks peeing in the alley,
Right.
and you talk to the next person, and it's complete pandemonium, bedlam, and lawlessness on Carson Street. So somewhere in the middle of that is the truth. But one thing that does, let me get, because you asked about crime. It is a little different in the north side, and it's also different in the further eastern regions where violent crime isn't quite as prominent in Stanton Heights and Morningside and in Lawrenceville. But what does resonate across the board so far that I've seen is taxes.
Right.
Taxes resonates with everyone. As soon as I say, yes, I know we just had a 36%, and I don't want more of that.
Right.
And that's been very clear to most of the people that we talked to, about 99% of the people that I've talked to so far.
Do the people fear that the reassessments are coming and that there are more taxes in store for them, or do they think they've cleared the hurdle?
I think most people realize that they would tax us again if given the opportunity.
Right.
And I, maybe I nudged that and steer that conversation a little bit by saying that 36% tax increase was a compromise. That was the compromise that was written out by Len Iorio's opponent, by the way. Everybody is concerned about that look. And I always say this, assessments are going to happen someday.
Mm-hmm.
Just not on the heels of a 36% tax increase right now. And
right.
that's what I'm concerned about, though. They keep raising and raising and raising without due regard to the budget.
Well, the people that I talk to, they realize those things have to happen. But when I was on the show, we talked about transparency, and nobody seems to know why we raised the taxes and what it's going toward. And so, they think it's all hopefully for good, but nobody can pinpoint it. And they don't know really what it's being spent on. And they have a fear that it's probably going to need more. So.
Well, a lot of that was started by a reckless and negligent increase across the board for county non-union workers on day one by the executive. And
didn't she double her staff?
And a large increase of government employees.
Right.
That's what the progressives think. Progressives, they all think that the only good job is a government job.
Right.
And we need to break that cycle. And I'm glad that we can probably bring Patrick back into this here in a second. But I'm glad U.S. Steel, and I was very proud to be down there when the president talked at U.S. Steel, and we need more of that. We need more worker jobs, family-sustaining worker jobs for people that want to work with their hands and provide for your family.
Well, and I'll ask you what we asked Patrick. How is the campaign going, and have you heard from your opponent, and has he been out there? Because I haven't.
He has reached out to me.
Mhm.
My opponent has reached out to me, and we have not had a chance to sit down together.
Mhm.
I do know that we have a forum coming up together next week in the South Side,
Oh.
and I look forward to that and look forward to meeting him in person. I'm sure he's a nice guy. I don't
Mhm.
know him personally. I mean, he's very popular in Lawrenceville and Bloomfield. I know that. I get it. And I'm sure that in his mind, he's has the best interest in the county at heart.
Mhm.
I'm concerned that he is too beholden to the party to break free from tax increases and the like.
Right.
Should be.
I just worry about all of our opponents because of the Mike Ambrasia situation, of people who are put up through the Democrat Party that aren't really there for their own purposes and the good of the citizens. You know, but hopefully hopefully we get to meet them and good things happen.
Well, I've been doing a lot of door knocking,
Yes.
and I've been fortunate to have some good donors come in recently, and we're going to be in contact with people who haven't been in contact. We haven't been in contact with before.
What about upcoming events? Do you have things to share?
Again, the forum in the South Side coming up is what I have on the books. No events planned per se, other than just normal campaigning stuff. But I can be found on Facebook, X, and Instagram, and LinkedIn, all at Todd number 4 for Todd number 413, and Todd413.com is the website. That's where you can go to donate as well too. And any little bit helps, and I've appreciated the people that pitched in for me already, and still need more. Still need more. We all need more. We're all pulling from a small pool of money, and we need a win.
Yep,
We need a win,
do.
and
it,
that
it
breaks the cycle a little bit.
needs resources, money and people. So I know Patrick and Todd both need people to help them get out the word, drop literature, have
I'm
small
sorry.
meet
You know
and
what?
greets.
There is an event planned there. You mentioned Action Day. Action Day on this Saturday coming up will be in Manchester, and all that is on my Facebook and Instagram page. I'm sorry I forgot about.
No.
I kind of just am told where to go and I show up.
Well, we need help, so hopefully anybody out there listening can get in touch with Patrick and Todd and help them in their campaigns.
Let's bring Patrick back into
Yes.
this, because he
We
needs
had
to
our
be in.
second special guest, so now we can bring you two together.
Well, we can all talk about good stuff happening right now. And one of the good things that are happening right now, and I was just there last night, Stacey Garrity, big announcement for governor. And it seems that she's already raked in some endorsements.
Yes.
And I've met her personally. I had the privilege of being in her first commercial. So I'm looking forward to her race, and interested in your perspective of it.
Well, I've seen her a couple times out and about, and she's very good on the stump. She's very good talking to people. She has so much information, and she's so good at her present job. So,
Yes.
She knows everything about everything, and there's nothing lacking. When you talk to her, there's no platitudes. It's just like we're talking.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I think people really appreciate.
I got to meet her as well. She's from a very small town on the New York border, and we had some common interest in that northern tier of the state. But she's a very down to earth person. She is definitely in touch with the little people, like the whole state. And I think that's why she's so good at what she does.
And it comes across. I mean, if
Yeah,
you
she
don't,
is
yeah,
genuine.
yeah.
It's
Yes, I agree that she is a very likable person, very much likable. Patrick, maybe you can fill us in a little bit more about her military service. You might have a little bit more. Do you have a better idea of her? What exactly she did?
She was an MP. She was a reservist, and she had actually done 3 tours over in the Gulf. And she would still be going if they didn't force her to retire. Like I said, when I got to talk to her, it was, very basic, like 2 people that known each other for 20 years, how you been? And it was, she's definitely she's there for the right reasons, and she will do very well. She would definitely be a resource for the state.
And I understand that she was a very compassionate person. I believe she earned the title of Angel of the Desert or something.
Yeah,
to that
she told that story in an event that I was at. It was very interesting because she went above and beyond what her job title was as an MP, and she had actually tried to help people out when she was over there as far as with their education and get some doors open. I think that she would be very productive, and I think she would do the same in Pennsylvania as well.
I look forward to it. She is returned with $1 billion worth of money and items to Pennsylvanians throughout the state.
Which you wonder why nobody has before. So it shows you she really is just for the people. Honest, do your job.
It sort of gives you the feeling that she won't jump in and raise taxes all over the place, and she wants you to have your money and do the best with your money that you've earned or you deserve.
Yeah, I don't think she'll be making like big promises of school choice, and then when she gets in, no school choice.
And
Patrick, she
Patrick,
has a lot more integrity.
She's a doer, so we know that the budget will get done on time.
That was part of our discussion. Not only in her second campaign did she secure the most votes in any race in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, but the fact of how outstanding of a job she's done being conservative and on the Republican side and having 2 Democratic governors, she's been able to balance that and do what's in the best interest for the residents of the Commonwealth. It's phenomenal, the job that she's done.
And she would be the first female to serve as the top person in the state.
Governor.
So I think
and she's just so qualified. I mean, really.
Right. Go ahead.
I was trying to get the call. I mean, and I'm thinking of all the things, but she's so compassionate. Like that story of the Angel of the Desert like popped into my head as I was thinking of all the concrete things of how good she is at her job, but the empathy and compassion, the willingness to return money to people, she's just a phenomenal candidate.
No, we look forward to working with her. We hope that we can clear a path for her as county council seats and show that conservatism works.
Yeah.
And give her some insight of some of these tougher neighborhoods in the city of Pittsburgh and Allegheny County.
She comes in a lot more common sense than conservative, which to me, that's what conservatism is. It's common sense. But, to just the average person, she just comes out. It's just common sense.
She's very real.
Yeah.
She's very grounded.
Yeah,
I think the word that I would describe her. And she knows the ins and outs. She's been there. She's done it. And she doesn't hold it above anybody. She's doing it for the right reasons.
Yep.
I think it would be an honor for her to be our governor.
Well, I had a thought. I'm sorry. I just lost it.
Well, you guys were just all at her event.
I was.
There was a lot of enthusiasm. And
yeah, she's been here twice now in the past month, right? She was here at the Duquesne Club downtown, and then last night she was in Allison Park.
And that was right after she got the endorsement because the state.
Oh, thank you for saving me there. That's where I was going with this. Yes, the state endorsement. Go ahead. You can.
Well, the state didn't used to endorse statewide candidates, and then we got into the governor's mess last time with 20 people running. So I know that they took votes from I don't know what they're called, the state committee people went out and they surveyed all the people, and do you want the state GOPs to endorse, which is new for them. And she won the endorsement, which was good. And then you just get right down to.
It was a multi-layered process, because she explained that she had to go through several different steps in order to obtain that endorsement through several different committees on the state level. So it wasn't that they just jumped behind her. It was a process, and I mean, I give them credit for doing it, because they're being proactive instead of reactive.
Right, because they got into a mess before by trying to stay out of it, and it did the state, not so good. So their process is good.
So from a party perspective, I think getting the endorsement early, knowing who we would prefer, getting that early, because we know that Governor Shapiro has more ambition than just being the governor of Pennsylvania, and being with Stacey being in early and often, hopefully, we can raise money for her as a party, and all within Pennsylvania. And we know that the governor is touring other states, and that has the ability to pull in money from outside sources to the state for his governor's race as well. So glad that Stacey's in early, and that she can pull money in from everywhere in the state that needs to happen. Why don't we talk about the budget for a bit here, since that's all relevant. We don't have a budget still.
Still an impasse.
And some of the counties are starting to, I'll be nice, feel the effects of it. What do you think it's going to take to come up with a budget here?
I'm not sure what it's going to take for the state to come up with that, but I think from the county's perspective, that whenever they managed and they set this budget up, to rely on outside resources, I don't think that's very fiscally sound. I mean, it's less than 10%, and unfortunately, the programs that it's going to cut are going to be health and human services, because that's pulls on the heartstrings. I mean, I would cut other things before I would go after any of that. I mean, I wouldn't want to cut anything, but health and human services is a vital.
Yeah, for sure, it's difficult to cut anything that's already been established. Maybe it can be refined and streamlined a little bit.
Correct.
Or consolidated in some cases, but we don't want to cut things away. I guess the biggest hang up is public transportation. Now, in your county council race, you probably have some portion of that. I guess probably where you live, not directly, but in
substantial
through the Mon Valley, I imagine.
It's on the routes that people do depend on.
Have you talked to people about that? Have they talked to you about that? I have heard it. So.
I have not yet. I don't think they realize. And part of me running is going to be to educate them with regards to that. I don't think that they realize. People vote off emotions. You give them facts, unless it emotionally affects them, it's hard for them to comprehend, or unless they feel it, or there's no way to express that. Hey, this is going to happen, and until it happens, and then they're up in arms. It's like, I told you this was going to happen, but you felt a particular way, and like I said, politics in general, it's off of emotion instead of facts. There's a lot of information. I mean, one of my fears, like with the taxation, I mean, the probably 30% of the constituents in my area are retired. They're on fixed incomes, so that's a major deal. And I mean, between that and relying on outside resources such as the state for your budget, I mean, I know that some of the programs, that's the way it works, but I think better fiscal management would be, using that as a cream on the crop instead of a vital part of those programs.
Well, I know I've heard it some in moderation of the problems with Port Authority, or whatever it's called nowadays.
Down in Philly was
Pittsburgh
the big
Regional
holdout.
Transport.
Pittsburgh Regional Transit.
PRT.
Yes. I've heard it. I've heard, why is there so much problem with PRT when we have this drink tax that supposedly pays for it? But I've also heard from the other end too, from the people who work and rely on that
Mhm.
public transportation. And I talked to one woman in the South Side who said, uh, I only live 5 miles away, but I have to cross the river, and
Yeah.
it takes me, 2 hours to catch three buses
Yep.
to get from the upper hill to Carson Street, and that seems
I
outrageous.
hear that a lot. That's
And
one of
that
our
adds
problems.
that adds an 8-hour workday
Yep.
to a 10 or 12-hour workday, and
Right.
that we don't want that either, because we want people at home with their families.
Right. I hear that a lot whenever I go out and talk to people. If you don't, even if you have a car sometimes and you can't drive it to where you work, like if it's downtown and there's no parking, you can't afford that. But yeah, crossing the rivers and the buses, and yeah, it is, and it doesn't seem to ever get any better because it was always an issue for that.
And the same people who are mad that a bus goes by and there's only 5 people on the
Right.
bus, they have a valid point in that too.
That's I said there's nobody working on an issue to solve. Well, how do we fix a problem and solve a problem? Instead of just, well, we have to have every bus route because 2 people need to get on it, but those 2 people, that's their lifeline.
Mhm.
So there has to be a solution to it. And county council, the new people in county council can put their heads together and come up with a solution.
Smaller buses.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a big deal.
Build the tax base, get people to want to come back,
Mhm.
create the
Right.
jobs. That's where it's going to be. It's not going to be tax and
Yeah,
to
there's
get out of the
micro.
problems. It's going to be, you got to make it more livable. You got to create that, and the potential's there. There's a lot of resources, so much potential in Allegheny County.
Yeah, there's so many macro issues and micro issues that
Correct.
when you solve one, you can solve all the, if you get a macro, you can solve so many of the micros.
Yep.
And the macros are the ones that nobody wants to touch. So the micros are just impossible.
And they're also challenged by people now working from home.
Yep.
And the effect of COVID that we still feel on a regular basis. It's tough for them to have people on the bus when they're working from home in front of their computers.
But we built a lot of bike lanes for all of those people too. And there's
Right.
nobody on them.
There's so
Right.
much as far as the natural resources. Pennsylvania is 25% of all the natural gas in the United States, and there's so much to get to that. So many rules, so many regulations.
Right.
There's an outlet there that it can be done fiscally responsibly with health consciousness and be able to pull those resources, and it would be a huge boom to the state and to this region.
Yeah, we had a meeting last night and in the city, and Jason came and he talked a lot about that. And if we could tap our own resources, what a wonderful world it would be.
It would be amazing.
Well, my question to that would be, and I worked briefly in the gas industry, is that have we picked all the low hanging fruit, or are we in a spot now where we would have to drill deeper and more expensively, I guess is the question. I know in Ohio when I was working, they were tapping the deeper reserves in the ground, not just the more surface areas.
Shallow wells.
And again, you go to Washington or Greene County where there were wells everywhere in Greene County, and it supported a lot of the economy. I wonder, is there still places where we could simply put pads without a lot of problems?
I believe so, because in the 80s, people were actually paid to cap even the petroleum wells up in the northwestern part of the state, along the Alleghenies. And I think that can be done responsibly.
Okay, and of course that gas resources would service our AI, our electrical grid, and probably some of the steel mills for quite some time for sure too.
Absolutely.
And that's why we don't. Part of the reason why I'm running as well too, so that we can drill in Allegheny County where it's safe and practical to do so. And I look forward to being on the council and having that discussion as well.
Well, you two gentlemen have demonstrated that you know all the topics that the people want to know, need to know, and really what's going on in the county. So we all wish you well, and let's get a lot of help out for you.
All right. Well, it's we need people to vote now. We're getting down to the point where mail-in's going to come out pretty soon here, and the rubber's just really hitting the road right now. It's not even stress anymore. It's just straight work. But
Mad sprint.
well, with that,
As
Eileen,
Russell says, finish strong.
finish strong. With that, Eileen, it is always a pleasure. You are, you don't get the credit you deserve.
Thank you.
You really don't.
It's
And
this is fun.
you're fabulous, and you've been a great friend over the years, couple years now, and look forward to a lot more here of friendship and the work that we're doing together
And winning.
and winning. We need wins. So with that, everybody, in 2 weeks we will again be live. This will be posted up on YouTube here shortly on our YouTube channel. Russell will be back with us next week. You're on deck.
And I will
You're
watch.
always on deck. We will have another special guest in our candidate series. We have a special guest lined up. We know who it is, and it will be fun. A long time friend of the committee who is running will be in. So check us out. If you missed us live on YouTube, you can also check out all our social medias at PGHGOP Committee on X, Facebook, and Instagram. And we're also
PittsburghRepublicans.com.
PittsburghRepublicans.com is the website. So once again, everybody, this is the official podcast of the City of Pittsburgh Republican Committee. It's called The Right Side of the Rivers. My name is Todd McCollum, and it has been a pleasure bringing this to you once again. Eileen, we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Patrick, thanks for being here, and see you in 2 weeks, everybody. Be well.
Thanks for tuning in to The Right Side of the Rivers. We appreciate you spending your time with us as we talk about the issues that matter to Pittsburgh, Allegheny County, and beyond. Be sure to visit us online at PittsburghRepublicans.com for more updates, events, and ways to get involved. And don't forget to follow us on social media. We're on X, Facebook, and Instagram at PGHGOP Committee. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and stay on the right side of the rivers.